Κυρίες και κύριοι, χαίρετε. Το Action Life είναι κοντά σας για να σας ανοίγει τους ορίζοντες της ζωής σας. Άλλωστε, κάθε μέρα, είτε το συνειδητοποιούμε είτε όχι, παίρνουμε αποφάσεις με βάση τις αξίες και τα πιστεύω μας. Οι επιλογές, οι προκλήσεις ή οι ευκαιρίες που αντιμετωπίζουμε και ο τρόπος με τον οποίο τις διαχειριζόμαστε, βέβαια, στις σχέσεις μας, στην οικογένειά μας, στη δουλειά μας, στις παρέες μας, αποκαλύπτουν κάτι σημαντικό για το χαρακτήρα, τις επιθυμίες και την προσωπικότητά μας. Όταν μάλιστα αυτές τις αξίες τις μοιράζεται ένας ολόκληρος λαός, έχουν τη δύναμη να μεταμορφώσουν ένα έθνος και να διδάξουν στον κόσμο πολύτιμα μαθήματα. Για τις αξίες αυτές, πάνω στις οποίες βαδίζουμε είτε ατομικά είτε συνολικά, συζητήσαμε με τη διάσημη Βρετανίδα συγγραφέα Μαντίπ Ράι. Διότι η υπέροχη Μαντίπ ταξίδεψε σε 101 χώρες, προσδιορίσε τη βασική αξία της καθεμιάς, την αξία δηλαδή που την αντιπροσωπεύει και χαρακτηρίζει όλη την ιστορία του πολιτισμού της, και όλο αυτό το ταξίδι το κατέγραψε σε βιβλίο με στόχο να μας δείξει πώς μπορούμε τελικά να ενσωματώσουμε αυτές τις αξίες στη ζωή μας. You are a great author, but you're also a journalist. You started as a journalist, isn't it?
Indeed. Actually, I started as a banker, investment banker. I then became a journalist. I then went into venture capital, like investing in companies. I now work with governments and companies, and I'm seen as the business influencer of the year just gone.
You traveled because you were an author, or you became an author after this traveling?
Very good question, very good question. So I think I had a real thirst for knowledge. Like I drank knowledge like one drinks water. It made me grow. And one of my core values is definitely growth. And I think that's why I ended up with the BBC World Service as a foreign correspondent. So the aim was to tell inspiring, exciting, interesting stories that would help a grandma in Rwanda or a businessman in Japan, or it's the most listened to radio station in the world on shortwave, the World Service. So that was why I was on the road, to get those type of inspirational, motivational type of stories. But when I was traveling or reporting, I would always write back to my friends and family and say, this is the most incredible thing about Madagascar. This is what we could all learn. Or this is what we could learn from Slovenia.
In every country, a different experience.
Yes. And then these emails would be sent to random people. Someone would send it to their cousin, someone would send it to their great aunt, different people would write back to me every time and say, you must make this into a book.
Of course.
And I thought, yes. One day.
I don't have the time.
Yeah, when I retire, I promise when I retire I will do it. And then it wasn't until I fell pregnant, actually, in Greece.
Really?
Yes, 14 years ago, that one of my BBC colleagues said, why are you waiting till you die? Do it now. Call it Letters to Your Unborn Child. Like, collect all this wisdom from around the world and give it to your child. And as a mother-to-be, what more could you want to do? That's absolutely what you want to do. So I stopped everything and I started to write.
During your pregnancy?
Yes. And I thought, okay, before I give birth, I'm going to give birth to the book before I really give birth. That was the aim, and I tried and tried and tried, but I don't think the manuscript I wrote was really good enough. So I gave birth. I got pregnant straight away again because my first manuscript wasn't good enough, and I tried all over again in the second pregnancy. And actually it took me 10 years. I have a PhD in the subject now. I did a ton of research. I've interviewed prime ministers, presidents, shoe cleaners, artists, you name it. Thousands of people have gone into this book. So much as like a decade of work. And then finally I felt like I have something that's worth sharing with not just my child, but everybody.
Not everyone.
And actually it's a business leadership book that helps you figure out what's most important to you, how to get there, and how for that to be a navigational tool for you in your decisions, all the decisions you make.
Not only for business leadership, so.
Well, business leaders, it helps because it helps guide their company in a really profound way, in a way that you and I can connect with it, investors can connect, employees can connect, customers can connect. but then we're all leaders in our own space.
In our own life.
Yes. So actually it's a book that's applicable to young adults who are making decisions, to students who are making decisions, to everyone and anyone, wherever you are. You are navigating your life and you want to navigate it in the best way possible.
Mαντίπ, how can this book or this experience that you have from these countries help the mental, the physical and the emotional well-being for everyone? And not only well-being, the health.
Yes. So firstly,
how can this help?
I love the fact that you talked about health in all those different ways, because our mind, body, soul are so interconnected. And sometimes this has happened to me. I've literally broken my leg because it's a sign that I just need to slow down. It's not because, you know, something physical happens and it's actually a bigger message.
In general,
yes.
People can understand this.
Yes. So the fact that you have just dissected health in all these different ways, your emotional health, your mental health and your physical health, it's so important. So if you have a dissonance, a gap in your life, in how you're leading your life, that will present itself in your emotions, in your mental state, and in your physical life. It will present itself. And then you feel a dis-ease, a disease. So that's why then you don't feel in your optimal health. Now, imagine if you were able to say, for this period of time, let's say it's while your children are small, or while you're looking after your elderly parents, or while you're really concentrating on your career, or while you're studying until you graduate, whatever period you choose. For that period, this book enables you to think, what is most important to me and how am I going to prioritize it? Because if you are able to, in a kind of with sanctuary, which a book can be, you know, 15 minutes of peace, ask yourself those deeper questions, or better still, have someone who knows you really well go through the process with you, because you might start lying to yourself and pretending, oh, no, my family really are important, but your behavior doesn't show that. So let's say someone who really knows you well goes through the process with you and helps identify what's actually important for you for this period and how you will prioritize those values. Then how you make decisions comes with much greater synergy, and you will find alignment in your whole health. If you see the best in people, they mirror it back. If I always tell you your worst traits, your worst qualities, what are you going to show me? But if I see your greatest goodness, which you can see in every people in every part of the world, then that's what you're going to get.
This is the message to end this discussion.
Thank you for Greece, to being like greater than great, even when it's hard and even when it's difficult, and starting so many things that we all take for granted now, like democracy, given so much to the planet. Thank you.
Στη σημερινή ζωή που κινείται με γρήγορους ρυθμούς, ασχολούμαστε με όσα έχουμε να κάνουμε χωρίς να σταματάμε καν ούτε για να σκεφτούμε. Η Dr. Μαντίπ Ράι, διεθνής δημοσιογράφος, παγκόσμια αυθεντία στις αξίες και συγγραφέας του βιβλίου «Ταξίδι στη γη σε 101 αξίες», μας παίρνει μαζί της στο ταξίδι αυτό και μας βοηθά να επανατοποθετηθούμε σε κάθε πτυχή της δικής μας ζωής. Να σας προσέχετε και να σας αγαπάτε, λοιπόν. Καλή συνέχεια.